Good people of YouTube, my name is Spanner. Welcome back for some more Deathgate. Things have taken an interesting turn. So apparently there was this dragon, Sangdrax, and he found out our plans and the plans of Lord Zar, and he actually took our place. He shapeshifted into Haplo, took the sigil and took our ship and went off to meet Lord Zar. Because apparently, what's the name they use? What's the term they use? It's not the interconnection. The reformation. Apparently the reformation of the world will kill a lot of people, cause a lot of fear, and Sangdrax feeds on that. So that's nice. The Sartan are all here, including Sama. So they give us a ship, so now we need to go back to the Nexus. As a matter of fact, I believe we have to go back to the labyrinth. I think that's where the reformation or the interconnection can happen. The interconnection is apparently what needs to happen. So let's talk to the councilmen. They ignore us. Oh, I took this rug. The carpet depicts a beautiful scene. A single tree stands in a lush field. I don't know why I'll need the rug. It's a rune-covered sphere of stone, precariously balanced on a small stand. Although it's undoubtedly secure, it looks like an errant breath could roll the globe off. The stand delicately holds a large stone globe with 3 tines. Although it looks stable, the balance is a bit precarious. You believe you could probably roll the globe right off it, if you chose to do so. Okay, so one thing, however, is that the ship they gave us does not have a steering stone. Sama mentioned that they have this one, but there's a problem. It's too big, and we need to first we need to figure out how to transport it over there, and second, it does not have any runes. Luckily, we do have this medallion that Prince Edmund gave us, with all of the runes. So we'll just cast a simple rune transfer. You transfer the pendant onto the stone globe. Can I take this stand? Can I push this? You get behind the globe and push against it with all your might. The stone sphere creaks, then rolls off of its stand, bounces down the steps, and ends up on the stone floor. There it slows to a stop. Impatient, the councilmen regard your antics with obvious annoyance. You heave the globe back up the stairs and onto its stand. Your back aches and your muscles cramp. There's no way you'd be able to get this stone sphere to your ship by rolling it, but you have succeeded in confusing every single council member in this process. Okay, so we can't do it like this. Okay, let's leave for now. Sangdrax also got rid of our of the stone Zifnab gave us, so we need to find it. Now that Sangdrax has left, the stone is no longer reacting to his magic by glowing. It looks like every other rock on the pile. Finding it is going to be an impossible chore. What if I cast Identify? I mean, Identify works on magical objects. You cast the Identify spell on the rock pile, but nothing happens. Evidently, the rock pile isn't magical. Oh, we may be able to try out this... Oh, let's check the ship. Yeah, there's no steering stone. Let's check this cave now. Really? The same unnamed terror forces you back? Oh, but it's probably magical. We have this bottle of water. Yes, I have filled it, so we can probably cast the new spell we have. Null water. If that terror is magical, then by casting this we will become immune to it. The spell surrounds the bottle of water. After a few seconds it has done its work. Although the water looks the same, you know that it has the magic nullifying effects that you experienced earlier. So let's drink it. You take a swig of the water, immediately you sense the effects. Your magic power drains away, making you feel as helpless as a newborn. But this also means that foreign magic cannot affect you. Aha! There is no doubt that Sangdrax calls this cave home. Blood streaks the walls, and the floor is littered with the remains of previous meals. Got some scales. The scales are both sharp and oily. You get the feeling that if you cut yourself on one of them, the wound would become severely infected, perhaps prove fatal. You also sense that the scales of the dragon hold the same chaotic magic that Sangdrax commands. Sharp stone spikes jut into the cave from the ceiling and floor. There are some bones. These must be the bones of the poor fools who chanced upon Sangdrax. The remains are of all races. It appears that the dragon doesn't discriminate. Okay, so we have scales. I'm not sure what to do with the scales. Oh, you stare at the dragon scales in your hands. Their magic suddenly becomes active. Fear drives through your brain like red-hot nails. With the source of the fear magic so close, it's more than your sanity can withstand. You spend the rest of your life gibbering unintelligibly and not playing adventure games. What hell? Oh, because the effect of the water wore off. What if I put them in the robe? Doesn't seem to be a suitable place to put the robe on the scales. Inside the rug? Or the scales on the robe? Maybe I'm doing it... Where could I put the scales? I can't just drop them now. Oh, I can't use undo after that. So the problem is that the null water wears off. So what do I use them for? I was thinking about just wrapping them. So we don't cut ourselves, but apparently the magic is too strong. Oh wait, with the scales in our hands we can probably figure it has the same magic, so we might be able to find the stone. Some rocks lie in a natural pile near the gate. You know that one of the stones is Zifnab's gift to you, but you don't have a clue which one it is. Let's use the scales on the rock pile. You spread the dragon scales over the pile of rocks. As you hoped, Zifnab's rock reacts to the magic in the scales by glowing. Now the rock is very visible and easily distinguishable from the other stones in the pile. Alright, we found the stone. I no longer want the scales, those seem too dangerous to carry. Okay, we still have null water in here, which is cool. So all we need now is the steering stone. Can I speak with Sama about the rock?
Hello again, patron. How can I help you?
No.
I don't have time for talk. Now's the time for action.
Very well. If I can be of any further assistance, do not hesitate to ask.
Do you know anything about this?
You don't need to give me anything, my friend. You might need all of your possessions to face the perils ahead.
What if I put the rug back? Oh, I have an idea. This is a picture. So let's create a reality pocket. You trace the familiar spell into the air. When it takes effect, it's as if the picture in the carpet comes into focus, taking on a new dimension. The scene, a single tree in a lush clearing, is real. Can I go there? You step on the rug as if you were going to walk over it, but end up falling into the scene. Your orientation changes. Suddenly, the direction you were walking becomes up. Your balance goes for a holiday and you tumble onto the lush grass of the clearing. Oh, we can actually go here. You inhabit the scene woven into the rug. A lone tree stands in a lush field. In front of it, you see the portal. Aside from the one lone tree in the center of the clearing, the other trees act as a circular wall, keeping you inside. They are beautiful, but a little frustrating. You climb up the nearest tree and look out over an impenetrable forest. It extends as far as you can see. Evidently, the artist who created this carpet didn't think much beyond the immediate scene. And that's all we can see. Yeah, this... we'll have to cast it again, but I believe this will serve our purposes to transport the steering stone. I got the wrong... I selected the wrong spell. We'll cast a reality pocket, store the stone in here and just carry the rug back to the ship. You get behind the globe and push against it with all of might. The stone sphere creaks, then rolls off of its stand, bounces down the steps and ends up on the carpet. Only it doesn't stop there. Since the carpet is now a portal into the otherwhere, the globe falls into it. You see it continue to roll until it hits the tree in the scene. You roll up the carpet and take it from the floor. You hang the carpet over the nearest support beam. It makes for quite a nice decoration. So I believe the portal is still active, because the portal only disappears once the caster leaves the dimension. So let's push the globe. Again, you gather your strength and heave the boulder-like globe towards the portal. It rolls without much problem. In fact, as soon as the globe is partway through it, gravity on the far side grabs the sphere from your hands. The globe disappears. You step through the portal back onto your ship. As soon as you leave, the carpet reverts back to its original state. You stand in the cramped bridge of Sama's ship. It has the navigational wheel and the globe where the steering stone should be. You take the dragon ship back through the Death Gate to the Nexus. Okay, so now we'll have to deal with Sangdrax and also with Lord Zar, since he wants to reform the worlds, but that will kill a lot of people. We'll have to do the interconnect. Oh, the gate to the labyrinth is open. Can I take this now? You lift the tome up from the desk. Zar is no longer reading it, so let's take advantage of it. History of the Sundering. the vortex. Eons ago, the vortex was discovered. It was a place outside reality as we know it. In fact, it appeared to be a reality unto itself. It was a place of great power. Researchers theorized that it might be the actual source of magic. It remains a place of mystery. As much as is known about it, much more escapes us. It was the perfect place to actualize the plan. In order to defeat the enemy and create the new worlds that Sama visualized, we had to sunder the world into 5 realms: air, fire, stone, water, and the labyrinth. 4 to give to the mensch, and 1 to imprison the Patryns. Not only would we be removed from the earth, while this happened, we would be able to draw upon the perfect magic of the vortex to make it happen. We needed an instrument to focus the magic of the vortex, so we created an island of stone that floated over its very heart. Upon it, we inscribed a rune structure unlike any other. Indeed, this was a spell, but not just a spell. It was many spells intertwined into one structure. Every spell has a starting rune. When a wizard traces a spell, the magic flows from the starting rune into the other runes. Upon completion, the spell is defined as it is cast. This rune structure is different. It combines many different possible starting runes. When magic is introduced upon one of these runes, the spell is defined and cast. There is a compelling reason for this. Along with being used to sunder the worlds, the island was designed to serve additional functions. Shortly after the sundering, the same rune structure created a conduit between the worlds. It is currently used to transport people and cargo from realm to realm. Using the Death Gate, we were able to populate the realms with the mensch we had selected. All that was required was a fleet of ships outfitted with steering stones containing the naming rune of the target realms. The Death Gate has a grander purpose though. When the mensch have settled and we reawaken, the rune structure will be used again to interconnect the worlds. Power and materials will freely flow from realm to realm, depending on needs. After this interconnection, various spells can regulate and modify the system. We have included all of these in the rune structure. We have also included a fail-safe spell. Should something go drastically wrong with the sundering, the spell exists to reform the single world from the 5 realms. We don't anticipate actually using this spell, but it exists just in case. The Islands. The activation of a spell from the island's rune structure is relatively simple, but the execution of the spell must be exact. The island has been keyed to work only in the presence of the world seal, or in the current case, all 5 of the pieces. The island is home to 4 spires which encircle the rune structure, 1 to represent each of the elements. To awaken the island's magic, each seal piece must be placed upon its respective column. The procedure has an interesting side effect. Whenever a seal piece is placed upon its counterpart column, it generates an elemental storm. Okay, this seems important. So to awaken the island's magic, each seal piece must be placed upon its respective column. The procedure has an interesting side effect. Whenever a seal piece is placed upon its counterpart column, it generates an elemental storm. Everything on the island will be bathed in that element. Tornado force winds, a firestorm, an avalanche of rock, or a deluge of water. We couldn't comfortably cast our spells while being attacked by the elements, so we placed the rune structure inside the warded circle. Everything inside of the circle is completely safe. While safely ensconced within the wards, even the storming elements become no more than a spectacle to observe. When all 4 of the pieces have been placed, the island is primed. It is ready to cast whatever spell the operator wishes. The choice is made using the focus, which resembles a floating hexagonal frame. It must be placed over the desired starting rune, after which the remaining seal piece, that of the nexus, is set inside of the focus. This will ignite and cast the selected spell. So if you recall, Sama mentioned that the interconnection spell is too complex to teach to us, but he mentioned that they left the nexus pointing towards the starting rune for the interconnection, so it should all be pretty simple from that point on. The spells. 6 men were dedicated to creating and intermingling the spells carried by the island. They are Sama, Dimitri, Orsef, Lornoi, Tylor, and Waelith. Indisputably, 6 of the greatest contemporary Sartan magicians. Each was tasked with producing a single spell, and we will discuss each individually. Naturally, Sama directed the starting rune. Dimitri. Okay, so it has the starting rune for each of their spells. This one is Dimitri's. Interests ran quite... Orsef. Orsef was involved in much of the mechanisms of something before the sundering. This is Lornoi, Tylor, and Waelith. Okay, we have the book. This tells us, well, it kind of tells us the spells each of those guys made, the so-called 6 devils. Let's save here. I have no idea what awaits us inside the labyrinth. Stone spires tower above a field of writhing vines. You see a dark, twisted forest across the fields. You recall when you escaped the labyrinth. The choke vines weren't much of a problem then. It was winter and the season drove the vines into a type of hibernation. They couldn't move in the cold. Now that the weather is warmer, they thrive and force you to deal with them in order to cross. Oh, wait a minute. Could it be? No way. We will finally get to use the cold spell successfully? It actually worked! For the first time since we started this playthrough, the cold spell actually worked. I never thought I'd see the day. The cold spell floats over the sea of twisting vines. It expands and drops over the field like a blanket. As it does, you see frost form. The vines begin to move more and more slowly until they are torpid, completely still. The remains of previous explorers of the field of vines are wrapped tightly around the spires. The bodies are both man and animal shaped. Oh wait, this is the exit. Wait, what? No, I'm going the wrong way. This is the way we need to go. Right? Yeah. So, choke vines, mountains, yeah, nothing that interesting here, so we'll just cross the gate. But we will do so next time. For now, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed some more Deathgate, and as usual, don't miss the next episode, because I won't. I will see you all next time.